All right, good day, everybody. Steve Prziborowski here. Welcome to episode 60 of Reach for the Firefighter Badge. 60 and 61, the next episode, are going to discuss some fire department oral interview preparation tips. We're going to continue with fire department oral interviews because, again, they are the most important part of the hiring process. It's usually 100% of your final score. So trying to share as many lessons learned over the years through my experiences, through things I've heard from others, to make sure you can be the best you can be, because it is, in my opinion, one of the, if not the most important phase. So the tip this time is perception is reality, part one. So let's get going. As a reminder, my two websites, lots of great information on them, as well as, and I'll share those at the end, probably not your first time watching this, so I try not to bore you with that, as well as my two of my three preparation books are also available on my website, and I'll share those at the end as well too. But this is based upon the article that was published by Firehouse magazine. I've had I think over 100 magazine articles published by Firehouse, give or take. This one was published back in June of 2005, titled Firefighter Preparation Tip, Perception is Reality. Available on firehouse.com. Just Google my name or type that in, but usually Google my name. You'll get tons of great resources, articles for you to prepare yourself to be the best you can be. So situation number one, let's get to it. So perception is reality. Let's say you show up to a firehouse for a visit empty-handed. So you show up to the firehouse, whether you have an appointment or not. Let's just say you're driving down the street and you're going, you know what? I see a Los Angeles firehouse, and you know what? I don't know if they're testing or if they are testing, or maybe you're planning for an upcoming oral interview, but you know what? You're like, I'm gonna go stop, knock on the door, see if I can pick their brains for a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. That's sometimes the best relationships I ever developed before I got hired, was just stopping by a firehouse. So, you know what? Never stopped by, I mean, using this example, I've never stopped by a Los Angeles firehouse before because I'm out of the area. I'm from Northern California. So you know what? I'll stop in here. Doesn't hurt to ask, hey, when do you plan on testing next, or whatever else? But again, you show up empty-handed, meaning you have no desserts, no sweets. I know we shouldn't be eating. We're more health conscious these days, and health and wellness is a big issue for us, at least most firefighters. So you got to be very careful, and you're not required to bring gifts, housewarming gifts, for lack of a better term, but it's the thought that counts. So you show up empty-handed to a firehouse. Well, what does that tell them? Meaning, what's the perception? And if you don't understand perception, it's what someone thinks of you or believes of you. It may not be true, it may not be accurate, but it's their brief snapshot of you in usually a short amount of time. They're going to make a decision, and they may never have a chance to change that decision or to prove that decision wrong. That's why first impressions count. And sometimes it's, like I said, you don't get a second chance for a first impression. Let's just leave it that way. So what does that tell them? If you come up, it shows you're unprepared. You think their time is not worth anything. I mean, I know some people argue, well, they're on duty for 24 hours anyway. What else are they doing? Well, they could be doing a lot of things. You don't know that. Well, yeah, they could be sitting around doing nothing. But again, nothing is forcing them to talk to you. I mean, most firefighters enjoy talking to people, especially if they want to be firefighters. But is it really true that you're not prepared? I don't know. I'm not saying you are, you aren't, and that you think their time is not worth it. Again, I'm not saying it is or not, but that could be the perception. You know, is it their reality? Possibly it is. So what's the solution? I think that's pretty obvious. Try your best in all cases to always come prepared. Now, knowing that sometimes no matter what you can do or what you do is not going to be good enough, because trust me, I've seen this happen where a candidate brings donuts, and of course there's always the one wise guy that's like, donuts, great. Yeah, just what I need. Circles of death here. You could have brought bagels or maybe something more healthy like fruit. I was like, oh shit, well, you can't win for losing sometimes. But they're testing you. They're not jamming you up on purpose. Some of them are, trust me, but it's a test. How well do you roll with it versus, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know any better. What, dude, chill out here. Get over yourself here. But again, firefighters are that group of people that will test others and hold you accountable too, typically. So again, yeah, they're testing your character. They're testing to see if you have thin skin, thick skin. Do you get offended? Just the way it is. But obviously, I think the solution is always come prepared, and realize even when you do come prepared, they may not like it or think you should have brought something else, but just roll with it, smile with it, and say, oh, I guess I'll try to do better next time. So I can throw the donuts away. If you really want, I'll just take them back here. And of course, you know what the answer is at that point. Oh, no, 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 no. Leave them here. Those are going nowhere, but they're here. We won't eat them. We'll probably feed them to the firehouse dog, you know, or we'll just sort of have maybe ring toss in the back, you know, chuckle, have a good laugh, and then, of course, see where it takes you. But anyway, it's always good to have something. But let's say I mentioned earlier, you happen to be on vacation in Los Angeles. You just happen to be driving by and you see a huge firehouse and actually maybe some firefighters out front just that look maybe inviting. And you know what? Well, shit, I don't know the supermarket around here where I can find some ice cream or some fruit or some whatever. Well, hell, you know what? I'm going to pull over here and you know what? Go ask them a question. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, maybe you could start off the conversation with, you know, hey guys, my name's Steve Prziborowski. I'm actually from Northern California. I'm actually visiting some family down here on a quick vacation, but I happen to see your firehouse here. Is it possible if I ask you a few questions? And usually the answer is going to be, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm preparing to become a firefighter. And let me first start out by saying I apologize. I know I've told you don't apologize for anything, but here's one of those cases where it may help you out. It may not, but it may help you out. Hey, I want to apologize up front that I'm not bearing any gifts. I didn't, you know, stop by to grab any ice cream. I know ice cream or whatever, dessert. If you have some self-deprecation and maybe take that tactic, there's a good chance, oh shit, don't worry about it, dude. Come on in the station here. And a lot of times, can we give you anything? Again, that's how generous usually firefighters are. But hey, you know what? Sometimes you may find some good people to talk to that may help you out. Hey, you know what? I'm planning to become a firefighter. Is your department testing right now? Do you know when you're going to test next? They may not have the answers, but again, it's a way to develop a relationship. Maybe you may meet up with them again at some point, but be prepared. Whoopsie, back here. Okay, situation 2. Let's say you show up at that same firehouse with the same crew. You're going to ask some questions about becoming a firefighter, and you're wearing flip-flops, shorts that look perfect for the beach, but not for a visit to the firehouse. And you've got a Metallica shirt on. Got my Slayer shirt on, Slayer rules. I got Metallica shirts too, as well as other bands, but I wouldn't wear this Slayer shirt to a firehouse visit. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of firefighters I know that like Slayer, and a lot of firefighters that I work with, they're like, hey, Chief, I love the music you play in your office. Like, hey, cool, thank you. And obviously there's some that's like, oh my God, this guy worships the devil. God forbid. No, I don't worship the devil. I like all types of music. Go to my iTunes, country, rock, hard rock, heavy metal, some pop, some rap, everything. I'm just equal opportunity when it comes to music as well. So it's like, you know what, but again, I wouldn't wear the Slayer shirt that I wear off duty, obviously not the firehouse when I'm on duty, but I ain't gonna wear that to a firehouse visit. By the way, you also aren't shaved in a day or so. So let's say you got the soul patch, maybe the soul patch here, the goatee, or maybe the full beard, the Fu Manchu. I mean, I know those are cool things, but most departments don't allow you to have facial hair. A few departments allow mustaches are no problem as long as they're controlled usually, but some departments don't care. You can have a huge mustache. Or some departments don't care about goatees. But anyway, as a candidate, try to look at least professional as possible, clean shaven, and just smile on your face, ready to go. But again, the same perception. If you show up with your Slayer shirt on and maybe everything else, same as number 1. But maybe it shows that you're immature, you're unprofessional, and you don't believe in proper presentation or taking the time to look nice for certain occasions. Again, not necessarily is it a reality. In their eyes it is. Would you dress like that on a first date? Maybe you would. I don't know. I wouldn't personally, but again, depending on the individual, depending on the outing, but again, probably not most of the time. Think of the visit to the firehouse as a first date if you really think about it. Just some thoughts. Now, you don't have to wear a suit, or for women, a dress or a pantsuit to a firehouse visit. I mean, no one says you have to do that. Obviously, your oral interviews and everything else, background investigation. But for firehouse visit, just professional. Like for guys, for example, I just recommend maybe like a polo shirt, khaki pants, blue jeans only if they're really nice, maybe shiny polished shoes. Or if they are tennis shoes, you better have nice, clean tennis shoes. But again, try to look professional. Show them some respect, if nothing else. So look the part. Another situation, perception is reality. You're a male and you show up to an oral interview and you're not wearing a suit. You're wearing a sport coat and slacks, which are a step below a suit. I mean, better than, I guess, t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops. or you got a polo shirt on and slacks, or some other combination of clothing that's considered inappropriate for firefighter oral interviews. What does that mean? What does that tell the oral board? Well, it tells them you're not prepared, you're immature, you're unprofessional, and you're not taking the interview process seriously. Is it true? Not necessarily. Is it reality? In their eyes, it is. I think the solution is obviously business attire. And if you don't understand men or women what business attire is, Google it. Go to Men's Warehouse. I saw someone had a printout from Men's Warehouse where they had a pretty good style guide just for men, for example, of what to wear that's appropriate for business. So lots of different options out there. I'm not a fashion expert, like I said, Slayer shirt and cargo shorts and t-shirt because it's my day off. You know what? Yeah, I'm not the expert when it comes to fashion advice, but you know what? It works for me. I already got the job. Sorry, I didn't mean that to come out across arrogant. That was not meant that way, but my point is dress the part, play the part. Could you get hired wearing a polo short and slacks? Yeah, our chief did a number of years ago. I remember our chief going, Steve, I'm probably going to give a job offer to a guy that came to my chief's interview in polo shirt and khakis. He goes, everyone else wore suits for the men. He goes, tell me why I shouldn't hire this guy. And he goes, would you go back to school and when you see your students next, tell them to wear a suit? But I go, Chief, I go, how was his interview? And he goes, I'm going to hire the guy because his interview was rock solid. The kid had never gone to a fire program at a college, so he obviously had no basic preparation. It sounds like he never even did any firehouse visits because usually the firefighters would tell you what to wear. He really didn't do any preparation. He just knew he wanted to be a firefighter. He made it past the written test, past the CPAT, past the first oral interview, ranking very high. He got to the chief's interview. I think he was in the top 3. And the chief goes, on one hand, I don't want to hire the guy. I'd love to be able to sit down the guy as a mentoring moment because he's young, a good kid, and tell him, kid, I'm going to pass on you, but you need to get your act together. You need to be more professional. You need to treat this as a professional process. You need to come back with a suit next year when we test again. Thankfully, we had a smart chief. The chief was smart enough to say, I'd be an idiot to do that because this kid's good. He goes, if I try to make it a mentoring moment or a teachable moment, if he gets this high in our process, he'll probably get hired by another department next door to us or somewhere else. So he goes, and then I'm going to be telling myself, so I passed on the kid only because he wore a polo shirt and khakis to an interview. Again, we don't hire resumes, we hire people. Could you say that was maybe bad judgment or unprofessional or immature? Possibly. But when the individual started talking and providing answers and demonstrating how he would be a great fit for our department, our community, our family, the chief was just like, you know what? I'll take a chance on him. And the guy has turned out to be an awesome firefighter. I mean, he laughs about it to this day, but he didn't know any better. It wasn't his fault. Yeah, I could argue it's his fault because he should have done more preparation. But you know what? I'm looking at the end product. The guy's been on the job for a few years and he's nailing it. And you wouldn't know it now. He fits in well with the team, provides great customer service. So don't take it to chance. Dress the part. If you're going to wear a polo shirt or even shorts, flip-flop and a beard, let's say, you better have a rock solid, you better have a lot of rock solid stuff to sell to the organization, to the oral board, but that's rare. But you never know. So I think the solution, as I said, is pretty obvious there. So in the next episode, number 60, we're going to discuss a few more items such as this. You know, we're going to continue to dig into items that someone else's perception is their reality to ensure that you don't fall into the same trap. Learn from the lessons of others. All right, as always, thank you very much for the gift of your time. Looking forward to the next episode. Until then, be safe, take care, and we'll see you soon, everybody.